So we are live now. Welcome to Clinical Role, where we're going to do some world building and backstory telling today. So first off, all music you hear today comes from Tabletop Audio. They do amazing things and have a really cool soundboard that you can use for your games. I can't use it here because it doesn't quite work with Roll20, which is what we use for our tabletop, virtual tabletop thing, but it's amazing. And so today we're going to be exploring Immeral's backstory, including building this town he's from and understanding how he got to be the way he is. So I'm joined today by Dr. B. Do you have any announcements or anything you want to plug before we jump in today?
Oh, Lord, yes, I have some great announcements. For those of you who are going to PAX West, Take This has been approved for 3 different panels at PAX West. One on identity exploration in Dungeons & Dragons, one on the recent inclusion of gaming disorder in the World Health Organization's upcoming classification of diseases, as well as the PAX West edition of our very popular panel at PAX East, We're All Frauds, Self-Doubt and Success. It's going to be awesome. I'll get more details to everybody as we go, but for those who are going to be at PAX West, come see these panels. They're going to be amazing, and Dr. Megan is on one of them.
Yeah. And we're also having a roundtable discussion of therapeutic D&D as well that I think both you and I are on, right?
Did we get approved for that?
Yes.
Woo!
2 panels, and I know I've got 3 others that I was on proposals for I haven't heard about yet.
Okay. Yeah, all the approvals went out this weekend.
I'm hoping Mr. E and I were put in a proposal for talking about girls and gaming, so hoping that one got approved. He hasn't heard yet, so... Oh no.
Okay. Wait, the Seattle, Ethan?
Yeah.
Awesome!
Yeah. Oh, and we're
Shoulder beasts!
about to get attacked by small children. Yeah, any other announcements or any other plugs you want to do?
Negatory.
All right. A couple plugs for me. My episode of Dragon Talk came out today, so that's very surreal because I love that podcast and I got to be on it, and now I'm in a podcast. It's weird. It's cool. Because this is actually how I got my jump into therapeutic D&D was listening to Dr. B on Dragon Talk. So okay. So all things are good there. Also, I'm heading to Gen Con. I'm going to be on 3 panels. I'm allowed to announce all 3. So on Friday, I'm going to be on a panel on inclusion or making your tables more inclusive. On Saturday, I'm going to be on 2 different panels. One of them is a fun sort of event where we do a lot of audience interaction and audience participation and world building. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I actually get to be on a panel with a bunch of fantasy authors. So that's amazing. And then at 3 o'clock on Saturday will be a talk I'm doing with a bunch of amazing women where we talk about how you can use tabletop role-playing games to feel empowered in your life. So really excited about all of those. And I'm going to be at PAX West, so.
Yay! Hold on, I need to do Kermit the Frog. Yay!
All right. Big shout out and thank you to Sven, who manages the stream for us to make sure that everything looks smooth and is good, and helps to manage the small people in my house to make sure that they don't run in and disturb us too often. But that being said, he does have to run off right now and pick up our eldest daughter from work, so there's a small chance we might have small humans interrupting us at times, so just be patient. All right. Anything else? Any other?
Yeah, if anybody is, let's see, to anybody watching this, first of all, welcome to the stream. Second of all, understand that Immeral got to be angry for a reason, and we're going to be probably dealing with a lot of very, very tough topics here, and so serious content warning to some people.
Yeah. If
you are sensitive or you have any particular traumas in your life, please proceed with discretion.
Yes. It's a good backstory. So how we're going to do this today is, if you watched the stream where I did this with Adam and Adam for Bairden and Gragnold, it's going to be similar. We're going to spend the first half hour, 45 minutes or so building out the town that Emerald's from. And then we are going to jump into the role play of his backstory. So we have named the town that Immeral is from as Winhold. And this is a trade or a was it like processing type city?
It's a minor town.
Yeah.
Not minor town, minor.
Minor, yes.
As in minor 49er, oh my darling.
So in the area where Immeral's from, there's a valley that all the farmland is, where it's very rich soil, so good crops come up, and so all the raw goods are funneled up. The large town, small city that Immeral's from is where a lot of those goods are processed, and like wools and things are turned into cloth and dyed, perhaps made into dresses and things, but for the most part it's a lot of processing of goods.
So it's a mining and manufacturing town.
Yep, yeah. And so what we're going to do here is just kind of start building this out a little bit and trying to understand like how large of a city this is. So when I've been thinking about this in headcanon wise, I'm always thinking of this as a large town or smallish city. Does that kind of fit with how you had thought about it in the backstory, or how did you imagine it?
I was thinking I always thought he came from a fairly urban environment, and a fairly substantive one at that. Mm-hmm. Given he had because he had to have enough rich people to steal from.
That's true. Yeah.
And there also had to be enough hiding places to run from authorities.
Okay.
And when you think about it, the larger the city you get, the more split you get between gentrified and poor areas.
That is very true. So, what do you think might be a good stand-in city that we could maybe look at to kind of get an idea of relative
I think Chicago is I really think Chicago is a good one. It's a large city with some pretty significant divides. You have some very affluent areas, especially up in the northern suburbs. You've got some very tough areas, especially in the west and south side. You've got areas that are being developed and being gentrified. I'm thinking of Wicker Park.
So it may be like we had talked about 100 square miles, but that might be a little too big. Would 50?
Yeah, 10 by 10 mile. Ooh.
That'd be really big. Maybe like 50. As I'm just kind of
50 square miles. Yeah, like a 5. That's a large D&D city. That is a major metropolitan area.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Hmm.
Because that's obviously going to have a manufacturing sector that's going to obviously have some very rich people in it, and it's also going to have the ability to export their goods quite nicely. Yeah.
This is a town that I see is ruled by really 3 different factions. So one would be essentially like your Teamsters, the people who do the shipping. Right? They have a lot of power in there. Then the merchants who do all of the processing of the goods. But then I also imagine that there is a crime sector here that is extraordinarily powerful.
So this isn't at all like Chicago.
No. There's a government, and they certainly have some power, but not a huge amount. This town is fairly close to the mountains. Oh, apologies for a moment, stream. I have to step off. You wouldn't mind vamping, because I have to help someone go potty.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. This is me. I can make this as awkward as I want. This is spectacular. I can just look into the camera. I can sit in silence. I can drink my coffee. And make this real awkward. Get real awkward with it. Yeah. Anybody's guess how long it's going to be before Dr. Megan gets back from helping one of the young'uns go to the potty? But one of the things I will say to all of this is that Megan and I had to do a lot of talking about this, because as some of you who have watched the stream have figured out, Immeral has had maybe a not so pleasant background, and it's left him a little scarred. That's probably about as diplomatic as I can be with that. So she and I had to work out pretty significantly in advance, well, how much, how many people, how impacted his life and in what ways, and just talking about all the prep work you and I did on this.
Yeah.
Basically, we had to work out all the ways that he was affected by various things, because there's such sensitive material here that I think Megan was not wanting just to throw things my way, especially, again, just given the sensitivity and the literal traumas that Immeral went through as a child. So there was a lot of prep work on this one.
Yes, yeah, there has been a lot of prep work. I have probably about like 4 or 5 pages already of notes. And we hadn't even built the city yet.
Well, I mean just between the two of us, just in terms of character exploration. I know you do a lot of prep work anyway.
Yeah. I have cut down a lot since reading Mike Shea's Lazy Dungeon Master.
Yeah, good.
But there's stuff I've found, like with world building, it's better to go a little bit overboard. So that way you guys are like, you know what, rather than going into the city, let's camp outside the walls. What's out here? Why are the walls there?
Well, I think you know what I've done in terms of a couple of the groups that I work with. I've essentially created my own world, and as long as I have that framework to work within, and I've got a general idea of the flavor of different cities, especially the major cities, improvising is easy. Yeah. Because I know if I go to the Kingdom of which is actually the name of this city. They're one of their first cities I made for one of my teenage groups, because I couldn't think of a name, and they loved it so much that they're like, you gotta keep that, you gotta keep that. Which one? The Kingdom of There's a lot of H's, G's, and R's, and very few vowels. And as long as I have a framework for all that, improvising, it's easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so if we do this on this city, so we said 50 by 50, so if we go...
50 by 50?
Oh no, 50 miles, I mean, sorry.
50 square miles.
Yeah, 50 square miles. So, and I can math today.
You math good.
So we've got 20 across that we can use pretty easily here. So if we go by 50, alright, so if we're doing 15 squares by 15 squares to represent the 50 by 50, how many miles is each square? Can't math today.
Well, if you're doing 50 square miles, then it's 10 by 5. In terms of, that's the easiest. We can imagine it as an isthmus of some variety, or a rectangle. It could be a 10 by 5. Yeah. Or whatever multiple of 2 to 1 you can come up with.
So we can do 20.
20 by 10.
20 by 10. That's easy enough. All right.
It's a 2 to 1 ratio. I learned how to math with D&D.
We could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I'm assuming one of the things about this city is that I think it most definitely would be walled in.
Yes. That's a big wall.
Yeah. Well, and they're close. One of the things, they're close enough to the mountains that I think orc raids would not be uncommon.
Okay.
And then with just the fact that there is going to be a lot of wealth in this city, there would be walls and gates and things.
So maybe slightly built into a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And that way they really only have to build a wall, on a partial wall.
Also, like, having the whole city kind of buttress up against a large hill or something?
Yeah.
That could make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, I mean, it is a mining city. So if you're built into at least a notable hill, then you don't have to wall every side. Easy to defend, easy access to the mountain.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. And then what we can do is, so let's start drawing some stuff here.
And plus, you have mountain streams.
Yeah.
So it's not, they have fresh water supply. If it's volcanic ash, you've got good, volcanic soil, you got good farming.
So if we do like that...
This is a good city to settle.
Yeah. Alright, so if that back area is like where the mountain is, then let's do the wall in like orangish.
Okay.
So then the wall would kind of come more like that. This is going to be super fancy art, by the way, everybody. Like, we are not just psychologists, we're great artists. I'm not.
You so fancy.
So I would say actually then, like, literally, like, the upper class are living up. Like,
that would make sense.
On the mountain, and, like, because all the runoff and stuff would go into the poorer districts, like, that would be the places you don't want to live, or down the hill.
Well, and also thinking about the fact that in a lot of cultures, symbolically, you know, living higher than other people is a symbol of status.
Yeah.
So that's not, it's to say that the nobles and the rich people are living uptown is not a stretch.
Yeah.
And welcome to everybody who's coming for, who's just joined us. We are doing some world building for right now, and they're gone.
Oh. We had someone, but no.
And they're gone.
Oh, we're getting hosted for 11 viewers, though, on Geek Space. So, hello, everybody at Geek Space.
Hi, everybody!
Thank you for watching. We are doing some world building right now. So let's just kind of freehand out where this upper class kind of area ends. So I'm thinking I shouldn't use blue, because that's not water.
Yeah, but the upper third makes sense.
Yeah. So let's see that color. Yeah, so like right along here-ish. With this area over here being like your least favored because it's against the wall too. But you're still upper class, but so probably being in like the very middle would be the highest of. What might we call this area?
Well, if we're feeling particularly unimaginative, we can call it Uptown.
That is true.
Not for the least of reasons is I would like to sing something about an Uptown girl. I mean, if that's what we're feeling, we could also, you know, the richest area, we could go very classical and call it the Acropolis.
Yeah. I don't feel like it would be that classical though, like because they are more workers and stuff. So Uptown.
Hilltop?
Hilltop works.
And part of me wants to name it that just to go the opposite, because there's the Hilltop area in Tacoma, Washington that has been historically not so nice.
I was gonna say, I think I lived there.
Yeah, you lived in Hilltop, didn't you?
Well, I lived in Old Town.
Oh, you lived in Old Town? Okay. Yeah, but you remember Hilltop, don't you?
Yeah. I love Tacoma, though. It's so pretty. I can walk all over the place. The Tacoma City Marathon, though, will kill you because it is all hills.
That's everywhere in Western Washington.
Yeah. I'll make that a bit bigger. Like, there we go.
But for everybody who joined us, we're doing some world building right now. We're going to do some role playing about the tragic and traumatic origins of Immeral here in a little bit.
Alright, so the main gate then, probably, where's my... There we go.
Well, it makes sense to have gates at the river. Yeah.
So it probably would be like one
goods?
small stream, and I can't seem to be. Oh, there we go. Freehand. Blue line. If you want to draw in any of this stuff too.
Oh no, you're good. Aside from the fact that I actually don't know what I'm doing in Roll20, I don't know how to manufacture and create worlds in Roll20. So if I get in there and I start doing it, it's just going to be, I'm going to put things right here, and it is going to be pretty.
Alright. So probably a little stream. This probably wouldn't be much of a stream coming out. Now, I imagine it almost would be like a little kind of trickle by the time it gets through. And one of the things too with moving water there, we can very easily fabricate sewers, and so there's a subterranean part of the city that is sewers and sewer grates.
Okay.
All right.
Well, this also helps to create an aqueduct, which does help with the population of the city.
Mm-hmm. Well, and being where it is too, I think there'd probably be some wells and things as well that it would be hard to have wells and fountains.
Yes.
One of my favorite authors had this mechanic in the city that they built where if people wanted to donate statues to the city, they had to be functional. They either had to be like hitching posts or fountains.
Huh.
So that they couldn't just donate a statue. The statue had to be part of a fountain or something, so that was useful to common people.
Okay. I like that.
So I think there's going to be 3 primary gates here. Okay. One over here. I'm getting a call.
Uh-oh. Is that...
Sorry.
Uh-oh. Oh, someone didn't turn off her phone.
No, it's my computer rings as well.
Really?
Yeah. So it's my computer ringing that you heard. Sorry, guys. Alright. One over here. And then probably one over by this river here. And then I would imagine there's smaller, like, just people gates. So that carts couldn't go through the ones with just single lines.
Okay.
Probably even a couple of hidden gates as well.
Ooh, especially at the north.
Yeah.
For the rich people to evacuate.
Yeah. So let's see. And oh, there we go. Sneaky S for sneaky.
The S is for sneaky.
Sneaky gates.
Yes.
So, and Immeral, I think, would most definitely know about those this time in the city. Okay, so...
The S is for socks. And now we make an S, and the more different S. And now with consummate V's.
It's the second time I've heard of this in a week. Consummate V's.
Come on, Megan. Consummate V's. Consummate V's.
So I'm thinking most of the processing would happen down in here.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We need to that neighborhood, that's called Thatch.
Thatch? Okay.
Because they have thatch roof cottages.
H-A... Am I spelling it right?
T-H-A-T-H. I mean, T-H-A-T-C-H.
T-H-A... Wait. A...
T-H-A-T-C-H. Hold on. I was sending it to you. Hold on.
I just did it, I think. Right?
Well, I can't see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so we got Hilltop, we got Thatch.
Thatch, yeah. So Thatch, this is where, so most of the industry is.
It began as a series of thatch roof cottages!
And so one of the things I think for Immeral, like the Thatch district would be lots of things to steal, but also a really good place to get food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's where they got the blue collar workers. That's where they got the street food.
Yeah. Well, but also if you're thinking like they're processing any types of foods, there's going to be
cast
on, like peels or like fruits that
Right.
You know.
Right. Okay.
I think one of the things I've been thinking about with Immeral is, he has this thing where he doesn't know where his next meal's coming from, but I think also there's a lot of places here where he could have not easily but readily gotten food.
Right, no, especially with some of the waste products of some of the food manufacturing areas. Absolutely, that's a good call.
Yeah.
He'll start dumpster diving if needed. You know, he could become a freegan. And
yeah.
Quite nicely.
Yeah.
Except for the other, street urchins who are willing to shank him.
Yes. And then, so I'm thinking this area over here on the other side of the river is going to be more where guilds are housed, more of like the artisan goods and things like that, and a lot of housing and.
Okay. What should we? I don't know. And for somebody in the chat, chime in. What do we got here? Like, what would you name an area of a city that is primarily the guilds? And we could call it like the art district or the merchant district, but I think we probably want to get more creative than that.
Yeah. Call it Bruce.
What's that?
Bruce.
Bruce? Its name is Bruce. No, I'm trying to think about this. Like, what would we call it? Like, maybe name it after one of the prominent artisans.
Yeah.
Allentown. That's just too on the nose.
Again, please forgive the spelling. Dr. C is a psychologist.
A peace psychologist.
A peace psychologist.
Well, what about River? Well, they're both technically Riverside. Let's see here. Well, East Bay, or East Side.
East Side.
East Side. Ooh.
That could work. Yeah, to the east side. Yeah. We can always change stuff too.
Are we going to go Bob Ross on this? You can always change things.
You can always change things.
This is your world. Happy little world. Happy little slums. Happy little slums.
Yeah. And so as far as like roads and things,
well, I'd say we need to have a series of major bridges across the river.
Yep. There's going to be. I need this to be thick. It needs to be thick, extra large. Oops, why did I do it that way? I don't know why I'm like thinking I have to go around my circle. I don't. So this one would probably be like just a straight-ish shot right up into Hilltop.
Okay.
With probably a few. This one I imagine would mostly like go right into here, and then
go through Thatchtown and.
It might actually hook up with this one, and then.
Well, Thatch would need a couple of roads going out of it. If they're the major production center, then they're going to need at least 2 roads going out in order to move goods.
Yeah, so maybe there's a secondary road going through here.
Maybe even 3, because obviously goods need to come in as well.
Yep. I see these gates as being major, like 2 parts can go.
Most definitely.
Either way. And then the foot traffic is pretty much all directed to these smaller ones. The east side, yeah, I think that fits for it only having 1 entrance. This central one, though, I see as like being the biggest entrance into the town. It's probably
that would make total sense.
Another one that would almost just hook up right with that gate. So if you could just swing through east side and head on out, and then all of these would have smaller streets coming off of them.
Okay.
And then...
Oh, can we add something just for kicks?
Of course.
I think up in the northeastern corner of the city, because that's going to be a high point of the city, We gotta have a wizard tower. Just a small enclave of wizards doing research.
Oh, like a little wizard college.
Just a wizard satellite college.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. So let's do... That's going to be in this fun color, though. Wizards get to be purple.
Of course they do.
So, like, right there-ish?
Yeah!
Yeah. And that actually makes sense with the college. Kind of up, you know, because they're wizards, they're higher class, right? This is college.
Well, I think they are.
Let's keep them towards the wall, just in case they do anything silly.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you gotta have them a little isolated because they get a little experimenty, and you know, then plants start growing arms around the wizard college. There's a radiating magic effect.
Actually, I'm going to move it a little bit closer to there, so it'll be like
there you go,
in between the guild area and hilltop area.
Oh, and that's cool because they basically have like a driving range for their fireballs over the wall. All right. Yes. So that's their practice range for fireballs, and there is just a scorched earth for about 150 yards to the east of the city along that. And if they if they shoot fireballs over the wall, that's not a problem.
Yeah. As long as it's over the wall.
Right. So the wizards are getting drunk. They get together with their buddies. They start flinging fireballs. They're like, no, you gotta relax the knees. You gotta relax the knees. Keep the left arm straight. It's throwing fireballs. Follow through, young wizards. Follow through. Follow through.
You know what? Put your backs into it. I know we're weak.
Does Jimmy know that that's just a flask of water?
Oh, that's great.
Oh, this is why I'm not allowed to be unsupervised.
So the last couple things I think would just be to delineate where the market would be, and then figure out exactly where Immeral's orphanage would be.
So I think it makes sense to make the market the central area.
Yeah.
Because, you know, where all the roads come together is the easiest place for everybody to get to. Yep. So right just north of Central, where all the roads come together, so and like, maybe along that central arterial.
So like
yeah, that's the market district.
Yep. Let's make that.
I think that's absolutely the market district. And of course, we're going to have shops all along that central arterial running north to south.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then, like, some of the, you know, obviously there's other houses, another thing where, you know, probably a lot of warehouses in the Thatch area, processing plants. Probably some of the things, though, that would be outside would be more of like the tanneries would be outside the walls because they stink.
You don't think they'd be in Thatch?
Well, would they? I mean, like, my understanding is the smell from tanneries is pretty...
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
You lived in Tacoma.
Yeah. I lived near the Glass Museum. Which is very cool.
Yeah, but that smell. Oof. The aroma of Tacoma. Oof.
Yeah.
It's gotten so much better over the last 10 years. But I think, okay, so if we're going with there being poor people being downtown and the rivers being fairly polluted by the time they exit the city, then the tanneries are going to be along the southern wall.
That's true.
And I think that's where the orphanage should be as well, just south of Thatch.
Okay. So the orphanage would be almost as soon as you come in, then maybe.
No.
No.
No, because
over here, like.
Yeah, because that would be bad for tourists to see the orphanage.
Right.
The tourist bureau would not allow that. So the orphanage is probably going to be there. That's a great idea. Just a little off the beaten path in the poorest area. Yeah, and still think. Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the problem. Now, here's the problem with that. For scale. Yes. So if this is 10 miles wide. Yes. That means, just as a guess, it's about 5 or 6 miles of walking to get to the market. where the best pickpocketing is.
Well, and here was my kind of thought, because we talked a little bit about the orphanage. I think there's going to be more than one orphanage in this town.
Ha.
And Immeral was not put in like the cast off of the poor orphanage.
Oh, really? Lucky Immeral.
It's not like the worst, or like, so a little bit for you and for people. So most of the kids in the orphanage that Immeral's going to be in either are adopted or are taken on as apprentices.
Oh, okay. Well, then that means it needs to be closer to the guild district.
Yeah, so I think he would...
Closer to market.
Yeah, orphanage would maybe be like, again, not on the beaten path, but maybe like over here. Right?
Right in the heart of the guild area?
Possibly.
What about between just southeast of Market, between that and the guild district?
So like right there?
Perfect. Yeah, it's a little off the beaten path, but easy access to the market, as well as easy access to the guilds.
Yep, close to the guilds, close to... Where do you think? And so near the market, I would say probably... always changing my colors here. Up in here would be like more of your inns, brothels, basically like your tourist attraction type things would be just, just outside of the hilltop area, because, we don't want that in our...
For discretion.
Yes, but close enough that you can get there very quickly and easily and discreetly if needed.
Okay.
But they probably would also be on that guild side rather than the industry side, just because of the smell, the type of workers.
Right. And look, they're close to the wizards.
Yeah.
Because the wizards need to go to brothels.
Yes. Well, and the wizards also have potions that cure hangovers.
And other things from the brothels. Yes.
So very early in the morning, there are lots of... the wizard shop opens up around like 4:30 a.m. and starts selling coffee and hangover cures.
Ointments and ungulants.
Okay, wait. That's the name of their shop.
Ointments and ungulants? We have a cream for that.
How do you... I'll let you chat it into me. Okay, wizard shop. Yeah. And then, it's the market. Well, there was something else that was just thinking that we need to place in here. Oh, temples and things. I'd imagine some of the temples would go along the main road here. And then... Alright, thank you. What do you think? Let's pick 2 or 3 of the primary temples that would be around in this town.
Oh, just because I hate those arrogant sons of bitches. Paylor.
Paylor? Okay. That would fit.
May the light of Paylor shine upon...
I'll just wait.
Have you heard the good word of Paylor today? May his radiance shine upon you.
Being so close to the mountains and the fact that there's a rich town, I imagine Bahamut might be one as well.
That's probably a good call. I would imagine Dragonborn are not entirely uncommon here.
Yeah, that would be one more thing we could flesh out, are the different races that are pretty common.
Well, it's a mountain town, so of course no dwarves.
No, none. There's not a single dwarf to be found. The dwarven god is... I gotta pull out more things. If you have not read this and you're a dungeon master, go out and read it now.
Wait, yours looks different than mine.
What? Oh, this is the...
Is that the special edition that you're rubbing in my face?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you know what? Who's on Dragon Talk first? What's up?
Yeah, you. Hold on. There.
I'm just looking up dwarven deities right now.
Yeah, it has the whole list of them, but I'm trying to find...
Are you looking for Moradin?
Moradin, that's the one.
The Soul Forger, who leads the Dwarven gods, known as the Dwarf Father or All Father. He is the god of the dwarf people as a whole.
Yep. So he would be Warden. And then, is there a god for a good D&D god for merchants?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see here. Lathander? No, but that's Sword Coast.
That's okay. And we can borrow from pretty much anything if we want to.
Oh yeah, Bob Ross. Happy little world. It's your
Happy little world. I'm fine hodgepodging it all together.
Yes, okay, no, Lathander is the god of beginning. The people commonly offer a prayer to him before undertaking any journey or endeavor, and name is invoked to seal alliances and christen new ventures or companies.
That sounds like a perfect god. That could almost be the patron god of the city, too.
The rising sun is his symbol, and his colors are rose, gold, and violet of the dawn.
Ah. And I imagine Lathander would be held in favor with Palor as well, since like Palor is more of like the sun and radiance, whereas Lathander's the beginning, so...
Oh, Lathander should be, I think Lathander should be the patron god of this city, because Lathander is, the temples of Lathander often host civic functions as well. So the Temple of Lathander may serve as town hall.
Yeah, no, that would make a lot of sense. And new deals are brought there, and so do that. Alright, so the races that will be common in this city, obviously we're going to see a lot of dwarves. Probably dragonborn.
Yeah, sure.
Humans. Because we are letting humans be the predominant race. I
think that's necessary for the tension of this.
Yeah. I don't think elves would be very common with where...
No, absolutely not.
It is close to, like, agrarian and with the guilds and everything. I imagine gnomes and halflings, though, would be pretty common as well.
Sure, why not? But absolutely not elves. I think that... that Immeral being an elf is a rarity that gets a lot of looks and or comments.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. Any of the other races? Just look at the beyonds.
Well, I heard a tiefling came into town one time. He was a red fella, with his horns were as long as this tail. Coincidentally, they were as long as his tail, too.
Say Goliaths aren't unheard of, but don't really settle down.
Well, they're primarily rural, aren't they?
They're more.
They really prefer isolation.
They prefer isolation up in the mountains, so probably like every now and then you might see like a small group of Goliaths wandering through to be
No
trained.
pun intended.
Yeah. Small
so
Goliaths.
you get them coming down for some supplies every now and then, and it's kind of a big deal when they do.
Yeah, it's the Goliaths that you've ever seen.
Okay.
It's seen as a rite of passage to try to pickpocket from a Goliath or something.
Do they have pockets?
I'd assume like they probably are carrying things, so like, or maybe even just a thing of like putting a handprint on their clothing or something.
Ah, okay.
Like as a proof that you are worthy or whatever.
Okay.
Alright. So predominantly, I'm guessing probably we're looking at about 50% human population.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Then probably halflings we probably wouldn't see maybe as much of. I'm guessing probably only about 5% because halflings don't tend to like cities as much.
I would imagine gnomes are going to be very popular in the guild district.
Most certainly.
Over on the east side.
Almost would want to say like 20% gnome. That's also fun. Because that could mean more... Also, too, when you guys come in, that could be a lot of fun for Baradin.
Oh, Baradin, poor Baradin's going to have an identity crisis.
He is. He is. Okay, so we're up to 75. Probably like also 5% Dragonborn and then 20% Dwarves as well.
Okay.
Ish. And that's more for headcanon stuff to figure out how many of what you might be seeing and where.
No, that makes a lot of sense. The dwarves probably still have some holds in the mountains someplace, but they can come. Some of them mix in the city.
Yeah, so probably be like more of your hill dwarves coming in to work the smithing and stones and things, but also like as being guild artisans and the like. And then yeah, Dragonborn doing their thing.
Okay.
But the gnomes and the halflings most certainly would be doing a lot of the industry type work. I like this. All right, anything else that we're missing? Can chat think of anything we haven't really hit on that we need to? Or...
Well, we need to put probably where a town hall is, and we probably need to establish at least where some local constabularies are.
That's true. That's true.
We need to... As a pickpocket, I got to know where the cops are.
That is very true. All right.
And I'm going to imagine that the local constabulary, as well as the town hall / Temple of Lathander, is going to be right at the crossroads in the middle of Market.
Yeah, that would make sense. So like,
or actually, maybe at the northern part leading up to Hilltop.
Yeah.
So everybody can see it.
Or I'm kind of drawing this square there. Oh, that's terrible. You can't see that at all.
I can see it a little.
Well, I changed the color of that.
Okay, so that's the government section.
Yep. Enemy government, so yeah, your different town hall, whatever, mayor's office, the Lord Mayor who resides there. And then up in Hilltop, you've got more just your... And there's going to be shops and things in the Hilltop as well that are more high scale.
Well, they would need to be shops up there.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't exist without them.
Yep. But everything comes to market over here. All right, yes, that's where the guilds are. And then I'd say there's barracks. There, next to each gate is going to be... What's it? Hold on. It's orange.
Definitely going to have some barracks near each gate.
Yeah, near each primary gate there's going to be barracks. And then there'll obviously be a main barracks near... They will put the barracks probably more, like the primary military center, I think would be more on the thatch side of things.
That's a good call.
Not as desirable of property, just because... And more crimes there, so that would make more sense for us to be there. Alright, and to honor the fact that I play a bard in the game I play in weekly, over just as you enter, in this area is going to be like a natural an amphitheater.
Okay.
Shows. So it comes to a pickpocket as well, but also free shows and things that's open for performers to come in to entice a little bit of cultural diversity.
Okay, thought. Do we want it that close to a manufacturing sector?
Probably not, you're right. It might be more... Why can't I select this?
I would imagine that any nice amphitheater like that is going to be either up on the hillside to create an amphitheater, or it is going to be near the guilds, where we might have some acting guilds. I would suggest putting the amphitheater between Market and the tourist attractions. Up on the hill.
Up on the hill there? Alright. I would move it as soon as I can figure out why I can't select that. I can select the text, but I can't select those. I don't know. We'll just draw a new one. Not blue stuff. Good. Red dot. Sorry, I'm still trying to select things. It's not letting me. Okay, whatever. Okay, so we've got that. We've got our temples. We know the density of the population and everything. We know where the location of the orphanage is. And the temples will be spread through. So Lathander will be in that primary government district. Moradin, I imagine, would actually have been one of the earlier ones, so it might actually be more in the hilltop area. Bahamut will have in the thatch area.
Would it make sense to have Bahamut's temple closer to the main barracks?
Yeah. So Bahamut's would be by that they'll be right there.
At least as a morale booster and or propaganda.
Yep. That would make quite a bit of sense. And it's also at some major crossroads. And I imagine Moradin's would be... They probably would have moved it out of the hilltop. Would they? That's the
Thinking
thing.
about that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, what if it's down, I don't know, one of the early temples? Because I imagine the dwarves were the ones that created this town initially. So I think it might be in more the hilltop area.
I kind of like that idea. I also like the fact that it could start problems with the people in Hill. Oh, no. Okay, hold on. You're going to love this. Because this just plays on the inherent bigotry in people. So Moradin has a temple in the market district. Because that's the center of the town. That's where the town started. Hilltop began because the rich humans didn't want to be associated with the dwarves.
Oh. I like that.
They're just not our sort of people, you know.
Yeah. So Moradin would be more like right by that river area there, and then the Sanders would be over here more.
Right.
The L. And then behind
actually, this could be interesting. So Lothander and Moradin's temple are in fact conjoined. Okay?
Oh.
Because of the early cooperation between the founders of this city. But eventually, rich people came in and got snooty and racist and decided that they just didn't want to be associated with the sort of low-dwelling dwarves, so we moved and built a city uphill. Of course, we hired them because they built the best cities.
Yes. So you think Lathander and Moradin's temples would be connected?
They're conjoined. They're conjoined.
Yeah. I like it. Go over it. Advanced? No, I can't. There. Over there. Statements.
Can you tell I didn't grow up in the burbs?
Well, I grew up in... Have I ever told you about the town I'm from?
No.
You want to know, the population was 150.
Wow.
Yeah. Not 150,000, 150.
Wow.
Grew up in a fishing village. Literally, that was like it is the primary export of the village is lobster fishing. So.
Which ironically began as a cuisine for the poor.
Yes, and now it is a cuisine of the rich. Because the rich cannot get enough of those cockroaches at the sea. Alright, well, I'm going to do a quick screenshot of this, and then I will, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to make it a new crew here. I'm just going to keep this.
I'll tell you what, actually, if you send this to me, I'll use some of my map software to make it a lot prettier.
I will gladly hand that off to you.
Because I think that, I mean, it's going to take me a while, because you saw that world I built. That took me a solid several days. I mean, it's pretty. It's real pretty. But that might be interesting to have a good detailed map.
Yeah, no, I would like that. Because obviously this isn't all that detailed, but this gives us enough to work with to kind of roleplay and think about and look at. All right, cool. So here's my thought: is let's take a quick 5-minute bathroom break, and then we will pop back on. And when we pop back on, we will start exploring Immeral's story.
Woo! Oh God, I gotta say, I'm actually a little anxious about this because this is gonna be hard.
I'm excited. Okay. I've got built out a lot of. I hope good characters for this. Some good plugs for it. So.
Oh, this is gonna be hard.
All right, we're just gonna mute and step away, guys. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Oh boy. Oh God. This is gonna be rough. Just emotionally, this is gonna be rough.
To be too much, no, anything like that, just let me know, okay? Try not to, like, there's not going to be any, like, graphic descriptions of things or things like that.
Oh, but I'm just saying, putting myself in that place of, oof.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently the Be Right Back screen is still up, and we're talking. Thank you, retired Navy vet.
Hi, retired Navy vet. The other screen? Are we on the other screen? I don't know what we're doing. We're on the other screen. All right, so welcome back. All right.
Okay, well, for the retired Navy vet, anybody else who's watching, if you've seen us before, you know Immeral come from a good place, or you probably suspect that Immeral does not come from a good place. Oh man, okay, let's explore this. This is going to be rough. So if we're going to be probably going over some really challenging topics and materials, so please use discretion in watching. Let's do this.
All right. So, taking us back into this, it's like a memory of a memory for you. As you remember light, the wind blowing through trees, and then foggy blackness. And a taste of something in your mouth, almost too sweet, over and over again. And you hear sounds of hooves clopping, the rustling of wind through grass, but always just, and as the memories start to become clearer, there's that taste again, and it just all fizzles. And eventually you hear two voices talking in hushed tones. You'll be cared for. All of those in my care have ended up either with families or an apprenticeship. All. No exceptions to that rule. All right. And hearing a voice in a whisper in a different language to you, but one you recognize and understand. This is the best. Please, hope someday you come to understand. And the feeling of lips on your forehead. And that voice is gone. And you hear that, well, seems you're going to need to sleep for a few days then. And you feel yourself kind of roughly picked up and put down onto very scratchy sheets with bits of straw poking into your back in strange places, and you try to get up some energy to roll, but it feels like that cloud is just taking over you. You don't know how long has passed, but you feel someone smacking at your feet going, "Up, new boy, up!"
I groggily wake up. Where am I?
What do you mean where you are? You're at the oak leaf. Come on, let's go. You want to eat, we gotta go.
What?
And that, you see that boy walking away as another kid comes along, kind of he's got something in his hands that he's trying to get his hair to come down and not be quite so fluffy. He's like, "Sorry, you're new, right?"
Yeah?
Yeah. Jeremy, come on. Breakfast doesn't last very long, and if you want something, we gotta get going.
Okay. Okay. I get up and I
Whoa,
walk.
what's up with your ears?
What? What are you talking about?
You're an elf!
Yeah, yes?
What? Jobs, look at this guy, he's an elf!
What about it?
Whoa, you see this other kid kind of come over. Is this shorter? You would recognize this as a gnome. Yeah. You don't see elves around here very often. That's cool. Come on, guys, are you gonna eat anything? Let's go.
So I go off with them.
And you're led down this hallway. You look down at your clothes, and it's nothing that you recognize necessarily, but you're dressed the same as everybody else around you. It's kind of nothing tailored specifically to you. Everybody's wearing kind of similar off-whitish shirts and just kind of brown trousers type. Most everybody's barefoot here. You make your way into this large hall where you'd see on one side are girls who are all, for the most part, many are in dresses. Some are also, though, in the shirt and pants. Those tend to be the older girls, you notice. And then on your side are all the boys. And you're led through a line where you're given just a basic porridge and a small piece of bread. And someone's whispering to you. The Jeremy kid's next to you going, "Eat fast, we're actually kind of late. If we're not done, then we don't get to finish."
Okay. Where are we? What is this place?
As he's sitting down, he starts shoveling food into his mouth, kind of between bites. So, Oak Leaf Orphanage, guy.
Wait, orphanage? What?
Yeah. Where are you from? How'd you get here?
I don't know.
And your memory at this point is extraordinarily cloudy.
I don't know.
Well, you're here now, so welcome. So I guess
I just stare at my food.
You're gonna want to eat that.
I'm just going over the fact that I can't remember anything.
Yeah. Look, it might take you a few days to get used to things. It's pretty easy here. For us, we wake up, we eat, we go to our lessons, we get a quick break for some food in the middle of the day, then we finish up with lessons and chores, learning some practical skills, then more chores, and then we rest.
Okay, who do I talk to? I don't know how I got here.
Well, I mean, eventually, you're going to want to talk to Miss Weeze. He points up towards, you see at the front, there's a table with several different people, and in the center there's a woman who's got her hair pulled back pretty tightly into a bun on top of her head. She's wearing very kind of practical dress. Doesn't look like there's anything out of place on her ever.
Okay, you know what? I just get up and I start making my way to her.
Oh, you don't want to. Oh, you're doing it. Okay.
Yeah, I get up and I start walking past everybody to go talk to what's her name?
Miss Weiss.
Miss Weiss.
Yeah.
Okay, so I continue walking towards her. I'm trying to get her attention.
Why are you out of your seat?
Because I don't know I don't know where I am. I don't know what we're doing here, and I'm told you're in charge.
Your lessons will begin promptly at the bell.
But why am I here?
She kind of has this half smile, and this man sitting next to her looks like, you're here because your parents apparently didn't want you. You're here so we can place you to an apprenticeship or find another family or...
But why don't I remember them?
You might be sickened.
Sickened? What?
Well,
just tell me what I want to know. Who brought me here?
She kind of nods over, and this somewhat, he's a shorter human male with brownish hair. He's like, come with me, son.
I'm on the verge of tears.
Come here, come on. You'll be late for your first class, but that's okay. Come on.
Okay, I just kind of collapse.
He kind of helps carry you out, and you can see, like, as you're walking out, lots of kids are kind of talking behind their hands and pointing up at you as you leave. And this man, he leads you down through into a small, like, smallish, like, temple area, and to a room where there's a table set up and a couple of chairs, and he picks you up. So you don't know how old you are at this point, but your body is very small. And he sets you on the table and he says, follow my finger. And then starts the basic exam with you. Alright. What's the last thing you remember?
I remember... I don't know. I kind of remember a voice. Two, maybe, but I don't know.
You were brought here yesterday morning, from my understanding, in a bit of a state. Someone had been feeding you sleeping potion, the best I can figure, from how you were responding. Those can impact memory quite significantly. Not at discretion to say who brought you in, but someone did. Children end up in orphanages because their parents can't take care of them, they don't want them, the circumstances of their birth are too inconvenient. But you're in the city of Windhold now.
So what? But what am I supposed to do? What do you mean? I wasn't wanted?
I don't know. Sometimes parents want their children, but they just can't.
Why aren't there other people who look like me?
Elves are a very strange sight here. I don't know how you ended up here. Or why you're not in a place where elves are a bit more common.
Getting more and more worked up, and...
he reaches out and touches you, and casts the Calm Emotion spell on you.
Still crying.
Yeah.
But calmer.
Look, Immeral. It's your name, right?
I think so, yeah.
I'm Rodith. I'm the healer here. I also am a follower of Lathander. And will be I'm here to help as much as I can, but I'm also here to train and test people for the ability to do divine magics.
The what?
The primary thing that we do is we place children into places where they can be trained. Apprenticeships, finding where they have affinities for different skills and things.
I subtly, without drawing any attention, try and grab something to blow my nose.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check.
19.
Alright, you actually pretty deftly grab something, and as his attention kind of turns towards a noise in the hall,
I grab the handkerchief out of his breast pocket.
Alright. Yeah, without issue, you get it and blow your nose. So, how'd you get that?
I don't know, it was there.
It's alright, keep it. Look, Immeral, what you're going to be doing for the next several years, Miss Weiss is going to try her best to find a family that might want to adopt you and have them be your new family. Barring that, though, you're going to learn writing, basic math, a bit of the history of the realms, learning other skill sets to see what would be a good apprenticeship placement for you. Keep your nose out of trouble. Some of the kids will certainly find that you're different. That isn't always a good thing around children.
What do I do? I'm alone.
You're not alone. There's a lot of other young men and young women here in similar situations to you.
I just want to know who left me here.
I can't say. I don't know.
Starts crying. Immeral starts crying into the handkerchief.
And he puts a hand on your shoulder. It's pretty comforting. It's a little of the, I sort of don't know how to handle this, like medical doctor kind of thing, but also a little of like, I'm just gonna try to be
kind of a there.
Yeah.
There.
Make this fluid stop.
So I slowly get up and walk out.
He leads you down a hall into a small classroom. And in here are boys and girls, all of about your size, seemingly about your age.
Okay.
Yes. And as you walk in, you see Rhoda kind of looking around, and he points out the boy, Jeremy, who had been kind to you earlier.
It's the one with the hair?
The hair, yep.
Okay.
Sit with Jeremy. He'll steer you right. As you are making your way towards Jeremy, go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
10.
You trip as one of the other kids puts a foot out in front of you. You don't catch yourself in time. And you don't full fall onto them, but you definitely stumble as you're walking, and the person teaching says, "Could you not like disturbances as my class? Anyone, take your seat. What's your name?"
As I pick myself up, Immeral.
Right. Immeral, take your seat. I do not tolerate disruptions in my class.
Do I see who tripped me?
Yeah. So what you see is, it's a boy. He's a bit larger than the others. And as you kind of look up, he just, without any problems, makes eye contact with you. And you're just sort of this, what you're going to do about it. He looks like one of the largest kids in the class as well.
I don't care. I punch him.
Okay.
Just, he's staring at me. I'm staring right back at him.
Okay.
In fact, you know what? I take the snotty handkerchief and then punch him with it.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Let's see, do I actually have... Okay.
Pretty much just going to be a straight d20 roll because you're not proficient with anything yet.
Yeah, but I get a +1 on unarmed strike.
Well, you're not a rogue yet.
Oh, God bless it. All right.
You're a level 0 right now.
Okay, well, either way, I got a 15 to hit him.
15, actually, that's enough to hit. So you punch, and like just this slimy snot thing sticks inside his face. And there is a bit of a mark.
For his nose. I'm going right for the nose.
Okay. I punch him in the nose, and you do see like a little bit of blood. Doesn't look like it's going to bleed for very long, but it was just enough to. And he kind of looks up and looks, and he goes to swing back at you, and unfortunately he misses with his punch. He goes to kind of swing at you, but he was so caught off guard by the fact that you did this. Then, boys, you hear this booming voice come forward, and this woman comes up and just pinches you right at the tip of your ear.
Oh.
So I can see you're going to be one of those, are you? Well, come along then. If you don't want an education, then you can go and scrub out the privies.
Take him. He started it. He tripped me.
She just kind of gives you this death stare. And you can see him kind of sitting back and with this smirk on his face.
I glare back at him.
Mm-hmm. And she leads you out into the halls, and she calls off for...
Does he have anything on his desk?
Every desk has like a slate board and a bit of chalk, but that's all is on any desk.
As you know what? I try and take his chalk while everybody's distracted.
Okay, go ahead and make a sleight of hand.
Crap. Even if I was proficient, that would be bad.
Okay.
I got a 5.
5. As you watch, none of that, and she twists on your ear.
Oh, gods!
She brings you out and says, Olsen! And this older human, kind of like one of his eyes is kind of scrunched up, maybe an old injury. So, hey! She's like, show this new one what happens when you break rules. Aye! And he kind of takes you by the arm and is like, come with me, sonny boy. And you hear the door kind of slam as he leads you down the hallway. You're seeing like, it's a mostly stone building, fairly large size, and he starts leading you towards the back, towards this open courtyard area. He's like, alright, it's your first day.
Yeah, it is.
You picking fights already?
They picked a fight with me.
Come on, lad. And he leads you out into like a courtyard area, and it's at this point early fall, so leaves are starting to gather, and he pulls out a rake for himself and a smaller rake for you. Right. Look, there's a few things you need to know about here if you want to survive. One is, you can't leave any marks. Did you leave a mark on this boy?
Yeah. I punched him in the nose. He tripped me in front of everybody.
That's not going to be the most uncommon thing here.
Well, what am I supposed to do about it?
You can get back, but you mostly got to do so in ways where it's not going to be noticed. Look, you're an orphan. You're a kid that nobody wanted. Now, Miss Weiss, she does a good job of trying to get you all placed and makes you wanted. Makes sure that you can actually be something more than street scum. But you're going to have to work for that.
Okay, how do I do it?
You learn. You become good. Now if I'm not mistaken, you're an elf boy.
Yeah?
It's good enough an oddity. Work that to your favor.
Well, how?
Well, elves are supposed to be good with their fingers, right? Don't know.
I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter if you don't know. It's what other people think. You want to be wanted. And if you're causing trouble, if you're getting kicked out of your classes, you're not going to be brought in front of families looking for something, are you?
I suppose.
This ain't such a bad place here, but it's not a place you want to stay if you don't have to.
Alright, so where do I start?
Well, you rake up these leaves with me today.
Okay, so, alright, so I start raking.
Yeah. And throughout the afternoon, the morning and afternoon, you don't get a lunch raking. He sort of gives you the lowdown on how it works. And so what you learn is kids in your age group, which are generally basically elementary school age,
Okay.
are learning the basics of just basic education stuff, so things of reading, writing, basic maths, a little bit of history and geography, a little bit of education about the different races and cultures. In the afternoons, most of you are spent doing different types of tasks to start to figure out what might be good apprenticeship placements for you. So one day you might be doing something like hammering, like forging, other days sewing, lugging, trying to find out who's strong, who's weak, who can do what different types of things.
I imagine hammering was an interesting experience for me.
Yeah, he
Small and
probably
slight.
was not very great at that. But so you're just taught to, like, it's one of the things that Olson tells you is, like, keep your nose clean. It's like, if you are getting punished at all, you're not going to be shown to people who might adopt you. Also, like, and then, like, one of the things he's like, also keep yourself clean. Like, don't be dirty. There's baths. You have time to clean yourself every day. Make sure you make use of that.
Okay.
And, you learn that everything follows a pretty tight schedule.
Right.
Most nights when you go to bed, like, you are just absolutely exhausted.
Okay.
Working pretty much, like, you get up, you eat, you go right into lessons, you have a quick break to eat, and then you go into physical labor for the afternoon. The orphans are also the ones who do all the cleaning and picking up. Some of the older ones actually do some of the cooking as well. And
I try and help out with the cooking.
Yeah. That's probably where Immeral would fall into a little bit more. And you do start to find, like, the boy that you first met, Jeremy, he gets the nickname Crispy because of all the junk he puts in his hair, trying to keep it flat, so it goes bushel about everywhere. He becomes a pretty good friend to you and helps you figure things out and starts to really show you the ropes of things.
While I'm working in the kitchen, I start, whenever I get an opportunity and I'm positive no one's going to miss something, I swipe bits of extra food or scraps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I give them to Crispy and me.
Yeah. And Crispy really likes you for having done that. He tends to be more of a physical labor type, so he does more of, like, maintenance type things. One of the things with working in the kitchen is more, you're woken up quite a bit earlier to help with breakfast, especially.
Mm-hmm.
But having that extra little bit of food is helpful.
Well, and Crispy's helping me out. I'm going to help him out, especially if he's a big kid doing a lot more physical labor. I am definitely trying to subtly swipe some extra food for him.
Definitely. The cook catches you sometimes, but mostly it's just, now, Immeral, I've told you, there's enough. You don't need to take extra.
I'm just taking the scraps.
But that's about, like, it's sort of that knowing, like, finger waggle at you. It was like, you need to get better.
What's the cook's name?
Cook is Miss Greenleaf.
Miss Greenleaf. Okay. Miss human halfling.
Halfling.
With a name like Greenleaf.
Greenleaf's a halfling. Yeah, halfling.
Oh,
cook.
so she's an affable type.
Yeah.
So every time Miss Greenleaf catches me, I just kind of look down and kind of go, aw shucks.
Yeah.
And I give Miss Greenleaf a little hug and say thank you for being so nice to me, Miss Greenleaf.
Yeah. Yeah, and she'll pinch your cheek and be like, come on. And you get to know the boy who tripped you, Rankin. He is known among all of the others as a most definite bully. He is king of tripping people, pushing people, just being an overall jerk when nobody's looking. He very rarely gets caught, and one of the things Emerald starts to figure out in his first couple weeks of being there is most the grown-ups there don't really want to be bothered with being told about bullying and stuff. It's more, if we don't see it, it didn't happen. And so someone like Rankin uses that completely to his advantage.
Okay.
You know, and he is sort of a known terror, and he does, especially after that first day, he has taken special interest in trying to always trip Immeral, rip his clothing, do whatever he can to try and get Immeral in trouble or get him to be seen as different or looked down on.
Immeral, I start to get the idea behind this kid, and I try and avoid him as best I can.
Yeah, and most of the time you're pretty successful at avoiding him. Every now and then, though, you do have classes together, things like that, so it can be a little hard. Definitely during classes, if he has projectiles to throw at you, he will try to do so. But most, you know, and doing what he can. For the most part, Jeremy tries, just come on, just ignore him.
Oh, Crispy's trying to tell me to ignore things?
Mm-hmm. Just leave it. We'll get him later. Trust me, we'll get him.
Immeral during this time takes to wearing a bit of a headscarf, just to cover up the tips of his ears.
Yeah, I can see that. We're trying to blend in a little bit, and I think Rankin will, when he can, when no adults are around, will rip the headscarf off and be like, "Come on, Pointy! What are you trying to hide from?"
At some point, when Miss Greenleaf is not there, Immeral takes something of small but of some value from the kitchen and tries to sneak it into Rankin's coat.
Okay.
Like, let's see, what would be of good of value in the kitchen? And small.
A packet of spices would probably be... Spices would be something very rare, but also...
Ooh, and I take the good ones too. Like,
right.
What kind of spices will we... I mean, it's an orphanage, so there wouldn't be something too... I mean, I'm not imagining I'm going to find...
Probably, like, even just a basic pepper would be something that's very sought after.
Okay, so I take a small bag of pepper.
Okay.
Peppercorns. And when Rankin isn't looking and no one's around, I sneak it into his jacket.
Okay. Would he have done this on a day when Rankin was working the kitchens too, or just kind of in general?
Oh, it's definitely going to be on a day he's working in the kitchen.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
17.
17, all right. Just for fun here. Alright, I did roll for Rankin's perception, and I'm not adding anything to it.
Are you kidding me? When he's distracted? I'm waiting for when he is, like, not even in the room!
Alright, I'll do with this. Alright, with disadvantage, it's a 3, and I will give that to you, because it's...
Oh!
So you do manage to slip the peppercorns into his pocket without him seeming to notice. But how does Immeral proceed? What does he do next?
I wait until the shift is over, and I as we're all packing up our things to leave, I start asking loudly, "Where's the pepper?" I was trying to put the pepper back. Where's the pepper?
Stop, everyone. Turn out your pockets.
I pull out mine.
And, you see Rankin kind of start, and Miss Greenleaf's on top of that. Like, you had best believe that I'm going to be letting Miss Weeze know about this. Thieving is not anything that is tolerated here. And I didn't take... And you do see him, like, shoot a dagger look over at you.
I raise one eyebrow and look back at him.
As you all are filing out, you hear this voice next to you, like, saw what you did.
What? Who? Huh? And
there's a human girl next to you. She's got kind of curly-ish brown hair. That was pretty good, Rankin's a real jerk.
Who? Wait, how did you see that?
I noticed things.
So, you're not gonna rat me out, are you?
Of course not.
Who are you? Why haven't we talked before?
I'm Daisy. And you've seen her around. She's been working in the kitchens a lot. You guys don't really talk much when you're working because it's just, there's a lot to do. Daisy, you're pretty good with sneaking around. I've seen you, like, sneaking food and stuff, too.
Well, I was just told don't cause trouble or don't get noticed.
Yeah. No, and you're doing a good job with that. Keep it up.
Thank you? What do I get from her? Like, I'm now immediately on, and I don't know. She saw me. She saw me do something real bad.
Yeah. Overall, I think that he would be... Let's put this. She's giving definitely the vibe of, like, look, I got you. There's a little bit of, like, don't try to pull that shit on me.
Okay.
Right? We got a little bit of that. But she's also kind of just has a general, like, I'm trying to get to know you. And this is definitely, it would be an early overture of friendship.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, then we get done, and I go back to what I'm supposed to be doing after cooking.
And actually, one of the things you do notice as you're walking away and kind of, you guys come to a point and separate, and Daisy kind of looks at you and winks, and she notably does this to push her hair behind a slightly pointed ear.
What? I try to talk to Daisy as often as I can. She's an elf?
Coming to talk to her, which you find she's a half-elf.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, Daisy, how are you? How did you end up here? You have ears kind of like mine.
How's anyone end up here? My mom didn't want me.
But you remember your mom?
No, not really.
Why don't you remember? Why? I don't remember. How do you not remember yours either?
I was told I was brought here when I was like 3 or 4.
How long have you been here?
It's been about 5 years, 6 years, maybe. It's hard to tell.
How are you getting on? Because you've got ears like my ears.
And she shakes her hair, and she does have very thick brown, like kind of curlyish hair. She's like,
oh, okay. I put my head my basically when I'm working in the kitchen, I get all sweaty, so
yeah,
I put something over to my brow, and maybe I go like, oh no, Spock! Oh my God, Star Trek 4! Star Trek 4!
Yes. Yeah, just kind of time.
I go Karate Kid!
That works, but yours are a little bigger than mine.
Either way, Star Trek 4!
And she starts a game with you in the kitchen.
Okay.
Where there's like a little salt shaker. It's not like a fancy one. It's made out of stone, pretty basic. But it becomes a thing of hide it and then place it somewhere without the other one seeing.
Okay.
And this is something like you guys, even on days where you can't talk, this game is something that you two continuously play with one another.
I like Daisy.
And the few times you do get to talk with her, it's a little bit harder because the boys and girls are fairly segregated. She always just seems pretty friendly. It seems like she's enjoying the fact of having somebody else of elfkin around. And one of the days where it's a holiday where you guys actually don't have to work in the afternoons. You're given a bit of a reprieve where you can go and sit in the courtyards and things. She sits down with you. Can you speak the elf language?
No, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, do you know any other languages other than common?
What would I've noticed listening? Because I'm sure living in a city, I've heard other people speaking other languages, even in an orphanage.
And you do know another language, and you've heard it a few times, and you understand it pretty well.
Do I know what it was?
Yeah, it would be Elvish. But you probably wouldn't recognize that it is Elvish. You just know it, and so you know a few words in it and things. Okay,
well, I tell her I hear other people speaking weird words, and I get them.
Like what kind of words? Like I've always known, Halloween.
What? Do I understand what she's saying?
What she's saying is, it's basically a term of endearment. It's like a little one. Something.
Little one, okay. I know when other people just say certain words, and I start rattling off different words that I've heard in this other language.
That's Elvish. Can you teach me?
I don't know. I just speak it. I don't remember anything before the orphanage.
It's a bummer.
I would if I could. But I just don't know. I don't know what I know.
It's okay to not remember. Most of us don't.
How old is she?
At this point, Immeral's probably about 10, and she's just a little bit younger, so she's probably 9.
Okay. Immeral is 10 or looks 10?
He looks 10, essentially. How old that actually is in elven years and things, it's hard to say.
Yeah. I'm assuming I swiped some scraps from the kitchen on my way out yesterday.
Yeah.
And I give a good piece to her.
Keep you around for a reason.
I just kind of look down.
And the years continue to go by for you. For the most part, it's not a bad life. Certainly the bullies make life difficult. Racken, who starts going by a nickname of Happy, bullying people into, like, you have to keep me happy or else I'm going to make your life living hell. Make life difficult, but you get your small victories in here and there, which helps. Daisy and Jeremy tend to be very good friends to you. Most of the teachers there aren't necessarily nice, but they're not sadistic or cruel or anything. And you do learn how to read and write.
Okay.
And when you guys have mastered enough of the basics, you're graduated into a more of like a middle school kind of to training school. And so this is a time when people will start looking at you for apprenticeships and things. So at this point, it'd be early adolescence, so right around 13 or so.
Okay. Oh God, what have I done to Happy over the last 3 years that have because I just want to get him to leave me alone. I want to do stuff that is big enough.
Mm-hmm.
So he no longer does he still work in the kitchen?
Very rarely. Everybody does a shift in the kitchen about every 2 weeks, every fortnight. Everyone will have to do a shift in the kitchen.
Okay, so
Emerald is more. That's kind of where he's fallen into, like kitchen, and then also in the gardens and kind of helping to tend to the plants and do basic weeding and stuff. More of the things he falls into.
Where does he sleep?
You all sleep in an open area dormitory. So no one really has any personal items. It's just straw ticks that you all sleep on.
Okay. I occasionally I steal things and sneak them into either his area or somewhere on his person.
Okay.
I do this not often because I don't want him to get real used to it. I wait for him to let his guard down just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this maybe 4 times over the last 3 years.
Okay. The 4th time you do it, one thing too is at nighttime when everybody else sleeps, like, Immeral, you're always just kind of confused because you can lay there for a few hours. You're still very aware of what's going on around you, but you feel fully rested. And this whole sleep thing kind of confuses you. It's like you don't get why everybody else is sleeping and why you're not sleeping, and you wonder if there's something wrong with you.
Okay.
But during the night, one night, you notice Happy coming up to your bed.
I turn and look at him. Can I help you, Happy?
I know it's you.
You know what's me?
I know you're the one sneaking all the crap in my pockets.
Huh. And you know that how?
You were the one that did it with Pepper in the kitchen that day. You're the only one that's always been around when this stuff's happened to me.
Well, see, and here I would think you've been the one who's been around because you've been stealing.
Stealing? Trust me, your life's gonna be a living hell.
Ooh. You gonna go back to sleep now?
And he kind of looks at you, and then he goes and he does a big punch right into your ribs. I will make an attack roll. Which is 17.
Oh.
So he connects solidly, like with your ribs, hard enough. Like it doesn't feel like anything cracks, but it definitely feels like you're gonna have a big bruise inside.
So I crumple over and just start breathing really labored.
I don't know where that came from. You leave me the hell alone.
Then you leave me alone.
As long as you keep me happy.
You can be happy or not. I don't care. As long as you leave me alone.
I better have some scraps in tomorrow from you.
You can go to hell.
Oh, trust me, if I don't have some food tomorrow, there's going to be a matching one on the other side.
You could stand to lose a pound or 2.
And things like that continue between the two of you off and on. Sometimes being at a stalemate. He always going for more just the direct approach of physical brutality in the new pen. Eventually, though, you come to a point where who all have been graduated into the apprenticeship age. And it hasn't even been a couple of days that you've been at this place when Miss Weiss comes to Emerald, I'm going to have somebody come and inspect you tomorrow. I need you to be clean, and there's going to be a special outfit for you with shoes. I expect you to wear them properly.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you guys are you would know this, that when you're told you're wearing shoes, that's more of an upper class type of looking at you. If someone's looking at you for apprenticeship, for even for guild placement, they don't bother giving you shoes. But if you're being given shoes, that shows somebody typically from that you would know from Hilltop, or from a wealthy merchant or a wealthy household.
Oh, I keep on my guard. I keep on my guard for Happy and anything he might do. Okay.
That day he is seemingly absent out. He's doing a... Happy and a couple of the other larger boys have been taken to one of the forges and forge guilds, just to see, not necessarily to be assigned apprenticeship, but more as like an audition. See how they do. That day when comes and you are directed to get dressed, you need a little help because you were actually put into a fine shirt with like a small tie and a jacket and trousers and shoes that mostly fit your feet. Miss Weiss comes in and is like, "Now, what's to do?" And she kind of parts your hair just to make sure you've kind of taken to wearing your hair a little bit longer to try and hide your ears as much as possible. And she actually pulls it back. I let
it be a little shaggy.
Yeah. She wants it to accentuate your ears. She says, "Now, you are not to speak at all unless you are asked a direct question. Do you understand?"
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And so
I pat down everything just to see if there's anything I should know about anything.
There's nothing in your pockets or anything like that. I'll be back for you in a moment. Do not get yourself dirty while I am gone.
Where am I?
You're in like a small changing room, so the orphanage is basically like a large, what's the word I'm looking for? Not, sorry, word searching. It's a large compound, so the front area is sort of the public area where most of the faculty have their offices, and this is also where potential adoptive parents would come in to talk and do interviews. Right behind that is a series of like smaller dressing rooms and things. This is also where the chapel is.
Okay.
And you're in one of the dressing rooms back there because you are always brought out for potential high apprenticeship appointments or adoptions in clean, nice clothes. Other than that, you guys are in this standard uniform, which is white shirt and brown pants all the time.
Okay. Well, alrighty then. So I'm keeping an eye on myself. I actually, so I also make sure to check my bunk and everything around there, just to make sure there's nothing fishy going on.
Yeah. You kind of wait or cooling your heels. Would this cause him to be anxious at all, or?
I mean, nervous for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely nervous.
Yeah, and so you're kind of standing there and waiting, and it is just a bit nerve-wracking. But eventually, you are called for. She comes and gets you. And one of the things you do notice about Miss Weiss is she's wearing a nicer outfit than normal.
Okay.
And she has on this perfume. It smells too sweet and too flowery perfume. And it's a little, like, just a little much,
just
right?
Overcompensating.
Yeah.
No good.
Okay, so as you're led into this room, and there's a woman. She's got actually this slight blue tinge to her skin. And as you walk in, The dress she's wearing is this deep purple, and it doesn't seem to... It's almost like it's floating around her. It's very beautiful and elegant, and as you're walking in, you can smell her perfume now, and it's like fresh water lilies. And she's just very, very beautiful to look at. And you hear Miss Weiss go, "This is the elven boy I was telling you of."
I look around nervously.
It's very plain, isn't he? Please, turn.
I turn.
It's not bad build, but that face, it's very forgettable. My clientele are looking for an unforgettable experience. An elf is
I look puzzled.
An elf is definitely unusual. Does he has been trained in massage or any of the sensual arts? No, we don't typically train that here. It's a pity.
Does Immeral have any clue what's going on at this point?
I'd say yes. Yeah, like orphans talk, kids talk. And you also probably would have heard rumors of this woman, Madame Lily.
Madame Lily. Okay.
She's rumored to run the poshest, most expensive brothel in the town.
I'm starting to look concerned.
I would love to add an elf to those that work for me, but it doesn't have the right look. I just... Come here. She kind of waves you over.
I nervously walk over.
And she kind of picks up your chin and is looking around, and she kind of fusses with your hair for a moment and is like, Lucilia, I thank you so much for thinking of me and thinking of this, but you just will not fit with my establishment, I'm afraid.
Oh. Big relief.
Look, should his look change at all in the coming years, let me know, but he's too forgettable right now. And I said, what would you be looking for? Handsome face, striking. Something that no one will forget when they see it. This is too forgettable. And Miss Weiss nods and says, well, thank you for taking time. No, the pleasure's mine. And you see her hand over a small coin purse to Lady Weiss, and none of my competitors get him, though. And she stands and kind of breezily walks from the room.
She just paid for exclusivity for me?
Mm-hmm.
What? No! Oh, God! Oh, that's messed up!
Miss Weiss kind of looks at the coin pouch. It's like, it's worth a shot. Thank you, Immeral. You can change back into your normal uniform now.
I turn to her and I just ask, were you about to sell me into a brothel?
You would have been an apprentice to the brothel. You would not have been required to have been someone's companion if that wasn't what you wanted. Madame Lily trains many people to do many different things to the brothel. Not just the physical sensual pleasures. You could have simply been a server there. But she heard we had an elf who was up for apprenticeship age, and she wanted to have a look.
You were going to sell me into a brothel.
How was it any different than selling you to a blacksmith? Or to a cook? Either way, you're selling something that you do.
There's a certain moral repugnance to this that Immeral is not really quite articulating, given he's about 13.
Yeah.
Just all Immeral notices is the rage that's swelling up, and the desire to get even for the fact that he was about to be sold off into a brothel.
Immeral, I think it's time you and I took a walk. Go change into your uniform.
Yes, ma'am. Go change and meet her back at her office.
And she's changed too. She's in more kind of plain wear clothes. Come with me.
Okay.
And she takes you out into the city, and you guys spend the better part of an hour walking through the Thatch District. And it's a place you've been before. You guys have gone on different outings here to see the different warehouses. And she brings you close to the gate and points out another orphanage. This, just looking at this place gives you the creeps.
Okay.
Where you are, you guys do have some glass windows. Most are just shuttered open or closed. There's no glass windows here. It looks super sketchy. You can actually see rats down in the area. They would sell you into slavery. They would sell you to one of the cheap brothels that's in this district. Have no doubt of that. Getting an apprenticeship at Madame Lily's does not mean you become a whore. Does not mean you become a companion. Does not mean any of those things. As I said, you could have been apprenticed and just become a server there. Perpetually pouring wine for people, ensuring people had the foods that they wished, or helping to I've apprenticed several young men and women there to be strong arms. They have the right look for her, and their job is to defend and make sure that none of the patrons there or none of those who work there are mistreated. If you were at this place, they wouldn't care. So think hard before you say I'm selling you into something. I'm making sure you have placement so that you end up with a future. If you were here, an early grave is the best future you could hope for.
I just kind of look down and say, yes, ma'am.
Come on. And she starts leading you back. As you're going, though, she's... Have you thought of what type of apprenticeship you wish for?
Spend the most time in the kitchen.
And there's several bakeries and other cooks in the area. We could look and see if any of them are looking for new apprentice chefs. Is that something you'd like?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, come. And as you guys are going through the market, she stops by. She's like, not the high-class ones, but sort of like a mid to lower looking vegetable stand.
Okay, so middle-class vegetable stand, got it.
Yeah, she's like, pick out the best.
Okay. Do I get a sense? Looking at the proprietor of this vegetable stand, do I get the sense that he or she really has their best stuff out, or are they keeping something held back for reserve customers?
Give me an insight check. I'll let you have advantage with it, just because I spend a lot of time kind of watching people and trying to figure things out like that.
16.
16. Seems like most of the stuff's out, but you have a hunch this guy might have a few things held in reserve.
Do I know who this guy is?
Would you have gone out? You've never talked to this particular person before. You have accompanied Miss Greenleaf on a few different shopping ventures to get things. So you've seen her talk to him, but you've never talked to him before.
But do I know what his name is?
You wouldn't know his name.
Okay. I look at him just quizzically for a moment. I work with Miss Greenleaf. Now, the wares you have out are certainly fine. What about the reserves?
A couple of special customers who have requested things already. I'll leave it aside for them. What I have out is what I have available that's not already spoken for.
I'm sure we could probably negotiate something for Miss Greenleaf.
Quite possibly.
Miss Weiss?
Yes.
How would you like a special meal tonight?
I would love one.
Well, this gentleman here has some special products. What kind of things is he selling?
I see he's got some different lettuces. So a few different lettuces, springs. So you see cucumbers, just a few peppers. Just kind of a different thing.
Spring salad type,
yeah,
early summer, late spring type thing.
Yeah.
I'm willing to guess that you have a special batch of cucumbers in the behind that cart.
And if I have?
And I'm willing to also bet that Miss Greenleaf, who's probably one of your best customers given the number of mouths she feed, would not be opposed to getting at least one or two of those special cucumbers.
Make a persuasion check. And I'll let you have advantage because you still got the kid cuteness.
Oh, I don't need to roll twice because I got 20.
You got 20. He kind of smiles at you. All right, kid. And you get these two, and they're very what you can see out. Like the cucumbers that are out look good, but these are a little bit bigger. They look a little bit fresher. Not maybe the ones that are out have been there for a day or two. These look like they might have been picked today.
Miss Weiss, could we please get those cucumbers?
Most certainly. And she passes over some coin for that. She smiles and kind of brings you back. So, all right. Let's see how things are with you, Immeral. I'll see what I can do with finding a chef in the area looking for an apprentice. Are you open for baking as well, or just more general cooking?
I think I suspect Immeral likes the hubbub of being a line cook.
Okay, so I'll see what I can do. You get to go back, and later that afternoon you see Daisy, and she has a large sugary pastry. And she's wearing, she's got on a little bit of a nicer outfit because she was out in the town today looking at a different apprenticeship, and she has on this little pinafore, and she sticks the pastry into the pocket of the pinafore.
Oh.
And she kind of turns around to talk to a couple of other kids.
I sit down, if I'm not working, I sit down next to her and say hi.
All right. Hey, yourself.
So I may end up with a cook apprentice. I may end up being a cook.
Oh. And you say at this point, you guys have figured out enough Elvish that you can talk in Elvish to each other.
Okay.
You kind of started using it as almost like a little code language. And she kind of pulls the pastry out and splits it down the middle and hands you half. And starts nibbling on, how dreadfully boring. You have such better aspirations.
I don't know. It's good. It's good, steady work.
Well, maybe. It's boring, isn't it?
I don't know. Keeps my mind busy, chopping things.
I like stealing things better.
I don't know. Did I just get smacked?
No, I dropped a D2.
I don't want to have to steal.
You're good at it.
But it's not the right thing to do.
Not everybody needs everything they have. Look.
Wait,
they want me to become a seamstress.
Well, that's good work.
Taking my fingers away all day sewing and stitching, that's not what I want to do. see the world. I want to interact in the city. I have more fun running around on the streets, don't you?
Guess. I mean, that sounds like a little bit of fun.
I've been told of someone. His name's Anor Hamlich. He's looking for some new kids to work with him.
What do you want to do?
I want to go meet him.
Okay, well, I'll go with you. You go, I'll go.
Alright. Look, if he decides to take us on, just so you know, we're going to have to run away from this place. You got a problem with that?
Well, they could get me a family.
No, we haven't been adopted yet. We're not being adopted.
I almost got adopted.
Really?
Well, sort of.
What happened?
Miss Lily came by and wanted an elf for her establishment, but I didn't look right.
That's not adoption, Emerald. Come on.
I don't know. Would you go?
Nah. I mean, I suppose life in a brothel is fairly easy, but I want more adventure than that.
But if I go, would you go?
To the brothel?
No, to meet this other guy.
Yeah, come on. Let's go see what he has to say at least.
Okay.
Look, tomorrow we're all getting an outing to town. It's for one of the holidays. He's gonna be around. Stick close to me, we'll find him.
Okay. Alright.
So the next day dawns, and it's a feast day. So it's towards the end of spring. So all the planting's done. This is basically like a May Day.
Okay.
There's lots of flowers out. You guys are all getting to wear. You're still wearing like the basic uniform of the school, but it's like a newer set.
Okay.
So everyone looks pretty nice, and you get to go out. And you're all very, instructed to check back in at certain times, and you get to the corner, and Daisy kind of leads you. Come on, let's sneak away.
Okay.
So go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
That's a 9.
9? Oh, she got a 10. So you guys are like kind of, doing your best to sneak away, and you sneak down one of the alleyways into this kind of back area. I was told you would be around here somewhere. And you make a perception check for me.
That's the 16.
16, alright. So without too much, you see a guy leaning back. There's a few people in this area. It's been kind of hard to tell, but there's one guy who's leaning back, and he has a hat kind of low over his brow. But you're able to see, like, the way he's got it angled, he actually has it up enough that his eyes can kind of see everything. And he's definitely got tracked to both of you.
I walk up to him.
You say anything to him, or?
No, I just stare back.
Hello, you've got an interesting look about you.
Yeah, and I've been told just the opposite not long ago.
An interesting look for me is a non-desirable look for others, I suppose.
So you're just gonna sit there looking like you're not looking at people while you're looking at people?
Perceptive, I like that. It's a useful skill.
Thank you?
Daisy kind of walks up. You're him, aren't you?
This is the guy you were talking about?
You all can find me 5 silver pieces each. I might confirm or deny my identity. And he starts to walk off. And he kind of looks back over his shoulder to see if you two are following.
I don't. Well, I don't, obviously. I try and sneak off into the crowd. So I want to know what this guy's doing.
As soon as he comes to the end of the alley, where you're kind of coming back up towards the festival, and there's a lot of people walking around, he nods off towards a group, like, their purses are more than full.
Which purses, huh?
So you see the group of people, it's mid-nobility would be the best. So richer merchants, but not titled type people.
Okay.
5 silver each. And he just leans back.
You want us to steal?
Daisy kind of shakes her head, and then Elvis just, gotta go show that we can pickpocket. Come on. I know you can do this. I've seen you do it since we were kids. Come on.
We are kids.
Come on, we're apprenticeship age.
All right. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm real nervous. I walk up to. I look. Who looks the most distracted? I want to find a pocket of people who look like they're not paying attention.
Go ahead and give a perception check for me.
That's a 6.
6. There's a few different groups that look good to you. There's some little kids doing like a mini maypole dance that are like very badly but very adorably, and there's like a lot of probably fawning parents over there looking at them. There's another group that seems to be crowded around like I think it might be like rat fights or something, or rat races. Those are both things that happen here. I got another group that are looking over fresh wares of produce to buy. Those all look like they could be good targets.
Okay, which one has the most commotion?
Definitely the race or fight or whatever.
Yeah, the rat races.
Yeah.
Okay, I go over to the outskirts of the rat races, and I try to tap someone to try to say, lift, can you boost me up, or can you get down, or whatever. And as I continue tapping people, I'm taking a look at where their purses are.
Okay. So you spot a few different purses and people. Daisy's kind of walking behind you as well, and she's, all right, I'm going to distract him.
Okay.
And she kind of walks out and notably trips and falls into a couple people, pushing a few people. We're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, please.
I take one of their purses.
All right, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check with advantage.
That's an 18.
18. You're able to snake away one of the purses pretty quickly as Daisy says, I'm so sorry. And as you're snaking back someone in the guy you took it, my purse is missing. Search her. And they kind of quickly, this quick search of Daisy. She said, I didn't take anything, I swear.
I try and get out of there nonchalantly.
Yeah.
Get into the crowd.
All right, you dip into the crowd without too much of an issue. You come up. Are you going to look in the purse, or are you just going to go give it to this guy?
I'm going to sneak off to a corner before I look into it, and I want to make sure I'm relatively hidden.
Okay. So you sneak away, like go to a different part of the fair, get into a corner. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
That's 13.
13? Seems like not too many people are paying attention to you.
Okay. Well, then I look inside, and I'm looking around I try and look quizzically, just in case somebody sees me, and I want to try and play it off like I don't know whose this is, and I want to find out.
Okay.
Whose wallet is this?
Yeah. Peeking inside, you see 5 copper, 2 silver, and 1 gold.
Okay.
After a moment, too, you see Daisy kind of wandering along, like, just strolling. Just, like, not in a rush at all, just kind of...
Okay, I kind of say, gesture, come over here.
She kind of, not in a rush at all, like, and she does this kind of meandering thing. She doesn't make a beeline for you. She just kind of wanders around.
Okay.
Are we good?
Apparently.
Yeah, let's go. Are you ready to do this? Like, this starts now. Are you ready?
I guess?
All right. Come on.
She's a bad influence. Daisy's a bad influence.
All right, she leads you. You guys kind of meander, and you maybe start to try to beeline towards this guy, and she's like, no, and she kind of takes you on this long, slow arc around back to where he is. So, how was that?
Was okay.
And he kind of just casually puts a hand out, not looking at you.
I give him the purse? Or actually, I shake his hand.
Okay. Can you pay the fee for apprenticeship or not?
I give him the purse.
He takes it, doesn't even open it, he just kind of... you see him, like, moving his hand back and forth over it a couple times before stuffing it into a pocket of his jacket. And he nods, and you see another kid, a little bit older, probably 15, maybe 16-ish. Definitely taller than both of you. So. Cool. All right, you two follow me.
So I follow them.
All right, and he leads you down out of the market district, more towards the Thatch district. You guys pass the barracks,
Okay.
passing, and you're getting kind of close to the western wall. And he leads you to an abandoned household. And you guys are able to snake your way up eventually to the top floor. He shows you, it's not like a direct flight of stairs, like you have to climb up a wall at one point, then there's like a hidden doorway that you have to go through, a couple other little catches and things, but you eventually come up into this lofted open area where there's currently 3 kids just sitting around. One of them is sharpening a knife on a stone, and 2 others are playing a game of like checkers.
Hi.
And the kid who brought you, cool, we got some new recruits. And they kind of look up and wave. And they invite you over and they have some food set out for you guys. After about 20 or 30 minutes, the man comes in, sweeping off his hat. You're all like, Anna! Hello! Welcome! So, new blood. New blood, I always like that. Tell me about yourselves.
We're orphans.
You tell by the way you're dressed. That's gonna have to be the first thing to go. We're gonna get you some new clothes. Oi! He snaps his fingers and a couple of the kids jump up and quickly produce some new garments for you guys, to include shoes.
Okay, I don't know who my parents were. I don't remember much, but I've been at the orphanage for several years, and that's what I know.
Well, you're part of our gang now. Look, here's the deal. We steal enough for us to live and live a little comfortably. Stick with us. We're going to teach you everything we know. But look, don't get greedy.
Okay.
Above all else here, we do not get the attention of the guard, nor of the seal.
The seal?
The Thieves Guild here.
Oh, you're not with the Thieves Guild?
No, we operate outside. We're independent contractors, if you will. Alleviating the wealthy of the few too many coins they might carry on their person.
Well, how do we not get noticed by the Thieves Guild?
It's easy enough. There's a boy, he's got very curly hair coming up. It's like, look, we just be too small for a bother. Not every thief in the town's with the Thieves Guild. And if we keep to ourselves, don't steal anything too big, you don't bother with us.
Oh, okay. Huh. Okay, well then, I guess let's... Alright. I'm so very uncomfortable with all this because Up until this point, I mean, Immeral has stolen for a really, really specific purpose, and it's mostly been out of preemptive self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of actually stealing is kind of abhorrent to him.
Emerald's very good at grabbing things. And I kind of noticed. I mean, I noticed, which means it's not great yet, but you've got the right look for what we want here.
What's the right look?
Face that's forgettable. Face that looks like any other.
Oh. I kind of look up at my ears.
Those we can hide and cover. And he kind of takes off his hat and puts it on you. It's a little too big, but it most definitely hides your ears.
What about my floppy hair? Just...
Yeah. And in the interest of time, I'm just going to narrate through a little bit of this. So
okay.
The next several years you spend with this group, the small street gang.
Did I ever get to say goodbye to Crispy?
You would have gone back to say goodbye to Crispy. Crispy would have got... Where would he have been apprenticed to? He actually always had a good head for numbers. And even though he was a bit of a... Like, there was a lot of hope that he might become a blacksmith, but it seems like he actually looks a little bit better to become a merchant. And he did a good job of, like, memorizing the costs of different things, figuring out the weight of things just by holding it pretty within, you know, reasonable margin of error. And so he got apprenticed with one of the larger merchant houses, trading houses. Okay. And so he works in a shop. And so you're actually able to see him fairly regularly.
Okay. Well, that's good.
And your Happy actually did end up getting apprenticed with a blacksmith.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And did become a big muscled type that you learn to avoid over the years. Though, like, would he still wanted to make Happy's life miserable every now and then?
No. I'm good. I don't need... If he's not making my life miserable, I'm happy to live and let live.
Alright. But you do kind of keep tabs on him, and you do know that, like, he's still known to be a brute. And a real big jerk at that.
Oh, for other people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, then I cause trouble for him when I can.
Okay. Alright. So every now and then, like, slipping in, doing small things to, like, mess up some of the work that he's doing, so he has to repeat different lessons of his apprenticeship. And I think every now and then probably also maybe, like, sneaking frogs into his pillow or things like that. Just, like, definitely kind of petty-ish things, but inconveniences nonetheless.
Yep. Definitely my style. Petty, but not truly harmful. And
you're taught by, Skiff is the name of the boy who does most of the pickpocketing training for you. What you learn of Anner Hamlich, who basically runs this group of pickpockets, he had once aspired to be a part of the SEAL, but found them to be a bit too brutal. He and his friend were trying to be noticed by the SEAL and trying to get recruited. And what you learn of the SEALs, their typical method of recruitment is they give a warning first that you're getting too big, that you're doing too much. And then if you go kind of keep doing it, it becomes either we're going to kill you or you're going to become part of our group.
Okay.
And they got to the first step, and that freaked Anner out. His friend was beaten to within an inch of his life, wasn't able to do much of anything for a very long time, and so Anner was like, no, I'll keep stealing because it's what I'm really good at, but no way in hell am I going to become part of this guild.
Okay.
And so he's really like a Fagin type, where, yes, he's a criminal, but he tries to look out for the kids under his watch, making sure you guys are fed, making sure you're not... And, like, any rumors of you guys being brutal to one another, of petty fights or anything, he calls that stuff out right away.
Okay.
And he makes sure that you guys are taken care of and safe for the most part. You do learn of other child pickpocket gangs, but they are not nearly as well taken care of as you guys are.
Okay.
You do have lean times. Like, this is probably the first time in your life where there's some nights you're definitely going to bed hungry because you guys weren't able to catch a break. Stormy seasons are terrible. It's really hard to pickpocket people in the rain.
I start actually searching through the manufacturing sector of the city to try and find scraps of food that they tossed away. I mean, I learned well in the orphanage that any food preparation, there are scraps. And
you actually earn the nickname Scrappy from doing this. Once you start to figure out, like, sometimes you guys can't buy food, you do start going through the warehousing district. You find the places where more of the fruits are processed, and so you're finding some more of the cast-off fruits, badly bruised, starting to rot things. But you learn, like, pretty quickly you can cut away a lot of that and still have some good food. And also you can start to make hooch, so you guys do a little bit of that on the side as well.
Oh, great! Scrappy just discovered Pruno.
But generally, it's a pretty happy time for you guys. Until you hit one day where you guys had been doing pretty well for yourselves. Like, you actually have been lifting enough purses that you've been able to store away some extra. Pretty much everybody's been able to get some newer clothing. Nothing new, like you go to secondhand shops and things, but better clothing, looking a little bit better. And you're coming home from not a bad day. You got about 10 gold, you know, so not banner, but definitely, like, feel like you did your keep. And as you're walking in, you just hear this kind of moan.
I hide behind a door and peek in to try safely.
All right. As you peek in, you look and you see on the first floor is a wall that you have to scale to get up to the hideaway. So there's no stairs, no ladder, any easy access up. And you see near the wall this. You see, you can clearly see Daisy's hair, the crumpled curls kind of up, but she's kind of limply laying at the bottom of the wall, clutching her hand.
I run to Daisy.
Going up to her, you see that both of her eyes are bruised. She's got blood trickling from her nose, red marks on the side of her face, and she's cradling her arm, and it looks badly damaged.
Okay, Daisy, who did this?
You've been taking too much.
Are they up there?
No, they just found me.
The guild?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to take you upstairs.
I can't climb. I hurt too much.
I look around and to try and find some rope to steal.
Look at Anna, or maybe I think they've got a lift or something. If someone could just go up, and you do know that there is like a dolly, or essentially like a lazy waiter kind of thing that you guys
for goods and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
so I climb up there and I get who's in there.
So you go in. You see, Skip is actually taking a few days off because you guys have been doing so well. He doesn't feel like he needs to go out. And Anora himself is actually there too, kind of chatting with Skip, and they're talking about making some improvements to the loft.
And I look at them. Daisy is down there badly beaten. The guild noticed us.
Shit. And they quickly go and scramble and bring her up, and she's like, it's a warning. We've got to lay low for a while. Or maybe we just let them bring us in. I mean, they've got all the resources, right? Wouldn't it be better to have more resources? No, that's not. If you want the guild, you go to the guild yourself. I want nothing to do with them.
So what do we do to get them to leave Daisy alone?
Everyone stays home for a while, or we're going to have a meeting tonight. Come on. Emily, come with me. Let's go get some medical supplies.
Done.
You guys go out and you make your way actually towards the Wizarding Tower.
Oh, that's a long walk.
It's a very long walk for you guys. But when you're there, you see Anora actually pay for a healing potion.
Okay. Where is the Thieves Guild in relation to everything?
You know it's underground. It's in the sewers somewhere. You don't actually know the location of it. One thing you have learned is that they do mark different things, like particular shops, warehouses, things like that. It's subtle. You don't always notice them. And you don't know necessarily what the marks mean, but you've started to notice them, and you do know that they're marks of the Thieves Guild.
Okay.
Yeah, Anor pays the 50 gold, which is a lot. That's pretty much all the gold you guys had saved for this healing potion.
Okay, so he clearly cares. That's appreciated.
And he starts making his way back.
Okay, well...
We don't want their notice, Immeral. There's no point. I know that you guys don't understand, but there's no point in saving if they know we're out here. They have eyes on us. There's no point in moving. They're always going to know where we are.
Then let's hit them back.
No.
Then let's make a deal.
The deal is we don't become too big. We were becoming too big. I was getting a little nervous, but since nothing had happened, I thought we were okay. We hadn't gotten too greedy, but apparently we have. So, come on.
Fine. Fine.
I know, it's unjust, but this is the way of the world. You've enjoyed these years, though, right?
Why can't you just be a part of the guild?
You saw what they did to Daisy.
Yeah, I saw what they did to Daisy, and I saw that you could have avoided it by paying them whatever tithe they wanted.
It's not paying them a tithe. It's swearing total fidelity to them. Could you do that to somebody else?
Then we'll have total safety.
No. Come on. And he, as you guys are walking back, he takes you by a place that you don't normally go. And this is by the Halls of Justice. And you see up in some of the cages are people who are not quite dead yet. And you see carrion birds flying around and some people trying to smack them away, others not having enough energy. Look, any of us could end up there if we're caught by the guards, right? But none of us do because we're smart. I train you all very, very well. One of the things the Thieves Guilds will do is... See him? And he points to the third cage over.
Yeah?
I know for a fact he was in the guild, but he was newer.
He was who?
He was in the Thieves Guild. If somebody's caught and they need to blame a robbery on somebody, if the gentry needs to hang a body or throw someone in a cage, they'll do that too.
They give up their own?
Give up one to save many. You're skilled enough at this point, Emma. If you wanted to join them, you certainly have the skill sets. They probably would see you as an asset. I doubt you'd end up in the cages. It's not a risk I'm willing to take, though. I also couldn't do what was done to Daisy to other people. I won't do it.
I ask him, where do I find them?
They're in the sewers. Look, I'm gonna have a meeting tonight with everybody else. If you or anyone else wants to go and join, be my guest.
I'm gonna go talk to them. Tell me where to find them.
I don't know exactly, but I know they're in the sewers. If you go down and start wandering, someone will find you.
Done.
Are you going to go right to the sewers, or are you going back to the hideout with Anor?
I'm going directly into the sewers.
Alright. So you make your way down into the sewers. Let's change up the music for this. I don't know if anybody can hear the music or not. But...
I hear a tinny, but...
Yeah. You make your way down into the sewers. One of the things you've noticed, too, is, like, you're able to see in the darkness. Where your human and half-elven companions typically will need some form of light, you're very able to see in the darkness.
Yeah, I start wandering through and occasionally making more noise than necessary.
All right. I'll go ahead and just give a perception check for me. And at this point, we will say you were a level one rogue. So.
Oh, that's fun. That changes things slightly. Perception. That's 13.
13. After wandering around for the better part of an hour, you see one of the carvings that you know belong to the Thieves Guild.
Okay. Well, then I start tossing pebbles or whatever have you just to make enough noise to get noticed.
Okay. After a few minutes, someone comes out, this big, kind of burly, rough-looking dude. What do you want?
You know who I am, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know who I work with?
One of Anor's boys. What do you want?
I want to talk.
Talk.
If I work for you, it gives them amnesty.
You think you're that valuable?
What do I notice him wearing?
He has on leather armor. He's got a dagger, short sword. Actually, he's got a couple of. He's also got like what looks like a couple of daggers, like up on his chest as well.
Okay.
Just kind of a big, beefy guy.
Okay. Yes. I think I could be.
What makes you think so? We haven't seen anything particularly special about you. You're just a normal pickpocket.
Well, that may be true, but I'm also a very good one. He's wearing a cloak?
Yeah, he's got like a cloak kind of over his back.
I'm good enough to put a note on the back of your cloak.
Alright.
No, seriously, I put the note on the back of your cloak. It says kick me.
Go ahead and make your sleight of hand check for that.
I didn't actually do it.
No. Are you going to do it, or?
No, but when he starts to look for it, I'm going to try and steal one of the daggers off of him.
Yeah, so he reaches up and kind of flips out on his cloak.
And as I'm assuming he's looking around for a moment, and I
he's
try
kind of like, half looking over his shoulder as he kind of picks at his cloak.
And then I steal a dagger off of him.
Okay.
Ho, 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 ho. How about a 22 now that I have advantage?
Nice, yeah. He turns back around and is like, he sees it and he's like, alright.
Do I have your attention?
I know you guys are good. That's why we watch you.
You get me, and they get left alone.
Kid, you're not that good.
Could be.
Look, you guys lay low for a couple weeks. Stop stealing all the rich people's things. That's our turf. We'll leave you alone. Any of your crew wants to come and join us, though, more than happy.
Daisy gets left alone.
Daisy.
Off limits.
You need to talk to your friends more.
What do you mean?
She's looking to jump ship.
How truthful is he being?
I'll give an insight check.
16.
16. He actually looks like he's being pretty forthright right now.
We get left alone if we lay low for a few days?
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Done.
That grate over there will bring you out about 3 blocks away from your place.
And incidentally, the kick me sign was under your cloak on the back. I am that good.
Alright.
Does he look?
Make a perception check as you're walking away.
Oh, no, I don't walk away yet.
Oh, you don't walk away? He kind of looks like, no one's that good, kid.
One way to find out.
Talk to your friends. Lay low for a few weeks. We leave you alone.
Okay, I go out of there, I get back to the hideout, and I tell everybody what happened.
As you tell everybody that, you see Anna kind of nod. He's like, look, I want nothing to do with the guild. We're going to lay low for a couple weeks. It's going to be scrapping, but if any of you guys want to go and try to become part of the seal, I'm not going to get in your way. I'm not going to stop you. You see Daisy. She's looking a lot better. She still has like bruising around her eyes, but her arm seems to be functional again. And you see the empty bottle near where she's sitting. Look, it's fun being a pickpocket, but with the Thieves Guild, can't we, like, do more stuff? Like, I've been wanting to hit some of those big houses. And our chick's just like, we're not robbers. Pickpockets. If you want to go that way, Daisy, I'm not going to stop you. Hell, you're ambitious enough you could be the next Queen of Thieves, but...
I'm going to try and stop her.
What do you say?
Daisy, you wanted to see the world. You didn't want to rob people blind.
It's fun, though. It's such a thrill, isn't it?
But then we get freedom. We just get to live our lives without being under the thumb of anybody. We have everything we need. What more do we need? We have food, we have shelter, we have each other.
Yeah, I suppose. I just wanted to see maybe the next challenge, you know. Thought I was pretty good to get with Anar's group, and now like kind of am wanting to get with the next bigger group.
Why do you think we go unnoticed? Is because you are that good.
Yeah. But how much better could we be? Think about it.
You're never going to be satisfied, are you?
Maybe. If I get to be the Queen of Thieves.
I just want you all to be safe.
She gives you a really big hug and a peck on the cheek. So, be safe enough. Thank you. I'm sorry. Sorry I got caught.
I give her a big kiss on the mouth, and then I just walk out of the hideout.
Okay. She kind of just sits there stunned and doesn't really move. As you walk out...
And before I walk out, I tell her, you've been the kindest person who's ever existed to me. I love you, and I don't want to see any harm come to you. And I won't. Bolt.
All right. As you're kind of walking around the streets, kind of fuming and trying to figure out what's what, you notice this one guy walking around, looking a little lost. And, like, it's just too easy of a mark. You immediately attract him. He's wearing just some interesting clothing. Some more, he's got trousers. They're very loose in the legs. And you do see he has, like, a bow staff across his back.
He's walking awkwardly?
Well, not like he's lost.
I go up to him and I ask him if he needs help finding anything.
I was told that there was a place where I could get wholesale cloth over here. And he's kind of distracted. I have no idea where
That's east of here.
Oh, could you show me?
You're looking for Olafson the cloth maker.
Yes! Yes! Can you please, can you show me where that
I can't show you, but it's to the east 3 blocks.
All right. Well, thank you. And you do notice he's got a very nice looking coin purse. As
I noticed that, and he starts to walk away, I try and subtly throw something into a stall to create a distraction.
Okay. I'm not gonna have you roll. Yeah, so you throw something over, and he kind of whoop,
and then I steal his purse.
All right, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Holy crap! 22.
You go to steal his purse, and as you do, this vice-like hand. None of that now. Come on.
How? Huh? I was in the zone. I knew I was in the zone.
Yeah.
Huh? How did you notice?
Your key was screaming at what you wanted to do.
I don't have any keys on me.
Kind of laughs.
Yeah, I've got lockpicks, but what?
You're too talented for this. You need to be coming with me.
Okay. Who are you? And why am I going with you?
Call me Master Washi.
Master Washi? Like my feet?
Ohashi.
Ohashi.
Come on. I bet you can negotiate some great prices on this fabric for me. And he just kind of strong arm and pulls you along.
Okay.
But he's looking at you. He's like, you're far from home. There's no elves here. Why are you here?
I was left here.
Well, that won't do.
Who are you?
Master Owashi, I told you.
You say that like it should mean something to me.
It will.
Okay. So I go along with him and I negotiate prices, I suppose.
Yeah, you're able to, you know the seller, and you're able to negotiate a pretty good price.
Mr. Olafson, the cloth maker, okay.
Yeah, and then he's like, excellent. And he leaves an address for it to be delivered. It's like, you and I are going to get there early. Come along. And he starts marching you towards one of the gates.
But I have family here.
And you've said your goodbyes, and it's time now to come along with me.
Who are you?
I'm what's next.
You speak in riddles is who you are.
I've given you my name. That didn't seem to suffice, so come along.
Your name sounds like the thing I do to my feet to clean them.
And he pretty quickly leads you out of the city, and you guys spend several days traveling. He actually takes you into what you've always seen from a distance, the Moonlit Mountains. And you learn that at one point you try to break free, and this guy, he looks pretty old, but he moves faster than you think should be possible.
Huh.
Like, you try to run away from him, and he's just in front of you, in front of you, in front of you.
Huh.
But
This is weird. Okay, fine. I will pay it. I will go along with him because it appears like I can't do anything else.
And he guides you up, and the final night that you are in the mountains, he just leads you through the entire night. So trust me, it's worth it if we can get there as dawn's approaching. And you come up just as the sun's starting to rise and creating shadows over the mountains. You come across this one peak, and you see before you this temple that has 7 towers. And you can see, as the light's starting to shine in on it, it hits one of the towers first, and the top of this temple starts to like radiate out light. while another one stays deep into shadows. One of the other towers, it's almost like curving as it goes up in sort of interesting way. Another one, towards the bottom of it, you see like this fiery crystal kind of going up into more of a dark earthen crystal than like a watery color, and then the top of it almost seems to be made out of glass.
Huh.
Another one just seems to be very solid and standing there. And this is the Temple of Moonlight. It's your new home.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Washi. Ohashi?
And he leads you into the temple where Immeral spends the next several years of his life learning the ways of the monks.
Okay.
Where we will end things.
Woo!
A little over time, but
8 minutes.
not too bad, not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Cool, I have lots of fun things now to use for Immeral.
Uh-huh. Why do I get the sneaking suspicion, no pun intended, that I'm in love with the Queen of Thieves?
We'll have to see.
Oh my god. Okay, great.
I mean, it'll be a few days before you guys get down, or I don't know, it might be a couple of games before you get down into that city, but that'll be fun.
Okay. Oh my god, I really have given... Yeah, there's material here. Oh, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna screw with Happy.
I mean, well, and Emerald's... Well, because at this point, I mean, everyone's gonna be... All the humans are gonna be fairly old when Emerald gets back, too. So I'm expecting he probably spends like a good 50 years in the temple.
I think he'd be less angry.
Yeah. Not surprised. Oh, hello! You want to come say goodbye to everybody?
Oh! We have a visitor!
We have a visitor!
Oh, thank you, Levi!
Alright, thank you guys,
thank
everybody.
Thank you, Vodka Polyp and Tiny Sad Robots. And thank you, everybody, for being here. It's a fun stream. Thank you so much. And next week, continuing Adventures of the Natural Ones. Now knowing a little bit more about Immeral. Woo! Natural Wonders! Alright, thank you guys. All right. Bye!